You're at a gathering, not a party, just people, and someone you haven't seen in a while asks who you've been spending time with. You name 2 people, maybe 3, and you watch the math happen on their face before they even say it. That's it. You should get out more. You've heard some version of that your whole life. Too selective. Too hard to get close to. Like keeping a small circle is something that happened to you. A wound shaped like solitude, not a choice made with full awareness. And somewhere along the way, you started to wonder if they were right. Maybe you're not private. Maybe you're just bad at people. Here's what no one has thought to tell you. The way you love is calibrated in a direction most people never develop. What you're about to understand isn't a list of compliments. It's a psychological map, and some parts of it are uncomfortable before they're clarifying. Researchers studying social behavior and personality depth have actually documented the specific traits that cluster in people who maintain smaller, high-trust networks. And what they found runs counter to almost everything the culture tells you about connection. The first thing worth naming is your signal-to-noise threshold. You have a finely tuned sensitivity to authenticity, which means you're exhausted not by people, but by performance. When someone is being who they think they should be rather than who they are, something in you registers it before you can even articulate why. This isn't shyness. It's discernment operating at a level below language. The psychological term for this is high social cue sensitivity, and it's correlated with greater empathic accuracy, meaning you often read others more precisely than they read themselves. The cost. Every surface-level interaction takes something from you that doesn't come back easily. You're not antisocial. You're energy-specific. But here's where it gets more complicated and honest. This same sensitivity that makes you perceptive also makes you selective in ways that sometimes keep good people at a distance. Not just shallow ones. People who might have been worth knowing, who you cycled out before they had the chance to become real. That's not a flaw you should explain away. It's the trade-off that lives at the center of how you're wired. Your filter catches almost everything, and it doesn't always sort perfectly. Sit with that for a second. Now, the second thing, people with small circles tend to have what psychologists call a depth-oriented attachment style. Rather than distributing emotional availability across many relationships, you invest it densely in a few. This isn't a defense mechanism, though it can look like one from the outside. What's actually happening is that your nervous system doesn't experience connection as linear. More relationships doesn't equal more safety. One real one does. This is why small circle people often describe their closest friendships as the most significant relationships of their lives. Not one of the most significant. The most. You don't accumulate bonds. You build them like architecture. The misread, of course, is that you're cold. Closed off. That you don't let people in. And the painful irony is that the people making that accusation are usually the ones you never fully open to, which they experience as rejection rather than discernment. And you've spent years not knowing how to explain the difference. Here's the third thing, and this one tends to land hard. People who maintain small circles are often running a deep internal life that substitutes richly for external social volume. You process extensively. You replay conversations. You arrive late to your own feelings, but when you get there, you understand them with an unusual degree of precision. Psychologists studying introversion and what's called absorption, the capacity to be fully immersed in internal experience, find that high absorption individuals often need less social stimulation to feel connected because their inner world provides continuity. You're not empty between interactions. You're occupied. The cost of that? You can disappear inside yourself for so long that people stop trying to reach you. That's real, and it's worth knowing. I'm not going to dress this up. Keeping a small circle can be genuinely lonely. There are nights when the selectivity feels less like a superpower and more like a sentence. When everyone else seems to move through the world with ease you can't replicate, gathering people like they're effortless. You've probably wondered more than once whether something is wrong with your capacity for ease. Nothing is wrong with your capacity for ease. You were built for depth, and depth is slow. The people who find their way into your circle aren't there because they were convenient. They're there because they survived the most rigorous and unconscious vetting process you run. They are almost without exception extraordinary because your filter is that precise. You didn't develop this because something went wrong. You developed it because you were paying attention from the very beginning. Before the last thought, if these ideas are sitting with you in a way that feels like recognition, there's a video coming next that goes deeper into something most people with this wiring never see clearly. The hidden cost they keep paying in relationships without knowing why. If understanding yourself is the point, you'll want that one. Subscribing takes 2 seconds. Missing it might take longer to recover from. You were never bad at people. You were just never willing to pretend that everyone is the same.